Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 19 of the Couch Co-op podcast. I'm Riley, joined by Cal, and today we are bringing back Skull Basher, who has chosen to pop his face up again. So, welcome back.
Thanks for having me back. It was
Anytime
it
for
was successful the last couple times, so
the famous Skull Basher is back again. How you been, man?
that I've been doing good. Been doing really good.
Sweet.
hmm
What about
So-
yourself, Riley?
Yeah, man, I'm okay. I'm excited to get into this episode. There's a lot of fun topics to go over, a lot of critical thought that I think will get some interesting answers. But first, we
Critical
have
thinking.
we have talked about music before on the podcast, and I kind of wanted to follow up on that a bit. Um, so Skull Basher, what kind of music do you like? And yeah, just tell us all about your music taste. I'd love to hear about it.
Honestly, I love metal, like metalcore, like death metal,
Okay.
deathcore, rock, anything that falls under that genre. Those genres, basically, I'm all in for it.
So, like, who would you say is, in your opinion, the most prolific, like metalcore, deathcore? I mean, I know they're different genres technically, but who would you say out of all of them? Like, what's your favorite?
Like band.
Yeah, I should have said that, but yeah.
uh, Bad Omens. Bad Omens. Is
Okay.
my has become my favorite band currently. Their songs are really good, and you know, I think like for me, they're like right up my alley for what I like.
Yeah. What about Because when are they older? They've been going for, or are they a newer band?
They're like newer. I think they're like
Okay.
2010s, 2015 or something before.
Okay, I've heard of them. I don't know if I could name any of their songs, but
Can name a couple. Glass Houses, Exit Wounds, Artificial Suicide, which was one of their from one of their recent album.
okay. So personally have you been to any like bigger bands, like to any live shows?
The only band I've been to was 3 Days Grace, and that was like I don't know, 5 6 years ago, 2018, whatever that was.
Awesome.
Nice.
How was that experience?
It was amazing because at the time, 3 Days Grace was like my favorite band.
Mhm.
So it was amazing to go see my favorite band live for the first time. And it was the first time I've ever seen a live concert too. So I mean, it was amazing for me.
That's really cool.
hmm
Uh, I'm just going around the table now. Have you been to any live shows, Riley?
I've been to one. Have you heard of Greta Van Fleet?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Heard of them yet?
What is that? So sorry about that. Yeah, so there's this band called Greta Van Fleet. They kind of sound like Led Zeppelin. They're kind of that sort of rock style.
Mhm.
I went to see them in Seattle, actually around 2018 also. It was a pretty fun concert. I don't know. I've never really been much of like a get up and dance kind of guy. I guess I have been like when I was a kid. Like my mom tells me like, "Oh, you should dance more. You did it always when you were a baby." But that's just not me anymore. I suppose. I just haven't really felt like it. And like I don't know. I just kind of felt out of place at the concert. I just kind of prefer to just kind of put my headphones on and listen to them then. But like I mean, like the vocals of that lead singer just kind of like bouncing off the walls and back and forth, and like the extended like guitar solos and drum solos and stuff that you hear at those concerts, like they're amazing. But I mean, I don't know. I kind of I kind of fell out of like wanting to go to concerts after Linkin Park disbanded and Chester died, because I've always wanted to see Linkin Park live, but now I'm just like, I don't know. That was always the one band that I always wanted to see. But yeah, I think it would be interesting to go to like a Ramstein concert, because if you've seen any videos of their concerts, man, they're nuts. So might be a bit too crazy for me, but maybe it's just for the experience I'd go to one. I don't know. I mean, that's just my opinion, but yeah, I mean, concerts as far as now, just Greta Van Fleet. It was fun. I went with my mom, but probably won't go into any concerts afterwards. Yeah. How about you?
So I've been to a couple. I was supposed to. It's a funny story. It's actually really sad. I was
Okay.
supposed to go to an AC/DC concert with my roommate at the time, who was like my best friend, and then we had some bad blood happen between us, and we were both like, "Well, I'm not going with you. I'm not going with you." So we ended up selling the AC/DC tickets because
Wow.
neither of us wanted to go, and like I regret it because we're back on speaking terms now, and it was like something stupid, anyways.
Hmm.
But I went to because I live within a couple of 100 miles of Vegas. So I get to catch a few concerts here and there. Been to a Smashing Pumpkins concert.
Okay.
That one was really fun. Marianas Trench. They're like a smaller. I don't know. Have you guys heard of them?
No.
I have.
Okay. They're like a. I don't even know how you describe them. They're not like really metal. They're like alt metal. I don't know how you'd even describe what Marianas Trench is. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. I don't know. It's like an alt metal type band, and then a couple of smaller ones. But yeah, I feel like going to what you were saying, Riley. If you're not like going crazy at a concert and like dancing and like making yourself look like an idiot, I feel like you're just so out of place. If you're like a normal person and you just want to stand there and just kind of like nod to the music, and enjoy the song. If you're not they're
You
not
gotta be in the
concerts are
mosh
not for
pit.
normal people. Yeah, but
Crowd
yeah,
surfing, diving off stage.
yeah. Well, what at this point, Skull Basher, if you could go to any concert, like what would be your dream concert?
I don't know. It's like I like a lot of bands, and like I know obviously I'm never gonna be able to see like all of them. So if I could pick like top three bands, I'd go see like Bad Omens, Shinedown, and Breaking Benjamin.
Ah,
That would be.
nice.
I think those would be great concerts to go to.
Yeah, those would be awesome. Those would be awesome. Well, change of subject here.
Hmm.
EDP, we talked about him last time. He has resurfaced. He keeps poking his head up, and for whatever reason, he stays out of jail, out of prison somehow. I'm not sure how. Last week we talked about how was it Gideon
Yeah.
kind of baited him out, and he was what was he dressed like a cupcake? Is that what he was dressed like?
I've seen that. I've seen. Yeah.
Most ridiculous costume, or whatever you want to call it. But and maybe Riley, you might have more details than me, but it seems like YouTube is protecting EDP.
Yeah. So what they're doing, they're blocking uploads that are talking about the situation that happened last week, and people are kind of going nuts about it because, well, no one knows why. So that's just kind of the main thing going around, and it reminds me of something that happened last year, and actually it's us three have talked about it. The Quantum TV situation, where it YouTube is, for whatever reason, is just taking the side of this universally hated bad guy, and no one seems to know why. So I don't know, that it's just kind of a small tidbit of news, but it's just no one knows why EDP is being protected right now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird situation, and I'm glad you brought up the Quantum TV situation because it's really, I mean, it's different, but it's kind of the same type of thing. Like, why is YouTube protecting this person from criticism from other people? Like, I've heard people claim that it's for anti-bullying reasons, like they're trying to protect the single creator from, the masses of like what's the bigger YouTuber name that he was the one that was in the fight with Quantum TV, the Act Man.
Yeah.
They claim it's a bullying campaign and all this stuff. It's like, no. EDP, I don't know. EDP deserves the hate. Like, he's a piece of garbage, but I don't know. Yeah, weird tidbit of news. It is concerning though, like in this internet age, to have a gigantic company like YouTube censoring, protecting people that shouldn't be protected. Like, it is, I would say, very concerning.
Well, I mean, it's one thing to do it with like a copyright abuse thing or whatever with Quantum TV and Actman, but it's another thing entirely when you're talking about the safety of children from somebody that's actually trying to do harm to them. It's maybe something happened with the Quantum TV thing. Like, I don't really know that situation exactly what happened, but you can't say the same thing for this situation either. You can't say that because it's significantly worse than what happened back a year ago.
Right. Like with the Quantum TV, I mean, there's an argument there to be made, like on his end, that, that these people are abusing copyright laws or usage or fair use, whatever you want to call it, when they were reacting to his video, which is bullcrap because there's fair use on every video on YouTube. But yeah, with the EDP stuff, it is absolutely, if they are like, I don't know, I haven't looked into it too much, but if they are like removing videos just to protect EDP, like, I don't understand their game plan there. It just seems weird. I don't know. You got anything else to say, Riley, about it?
Not really. I mean, we'll just have to see where it goes. I don't think that it's just weird to me that YouTube keeps taking sides of these bad guys, and like there's no reason given why, and I assume it's because of some legal reason. Because if they say nothing and EDP does get caught, like for real, with a child or something, and then they're like, well, shoot, now I have to sue YouTube for this. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a small tidbit of news that I thought that we'd share. So, yeah. But
not everyone is supposed to have a get out of jail free card.
Yeah, or several at this point.
At this point, he owns a monopoly board.
So, we've talked about Starfield quite extensively recently, and there was an interview that Todd Howard, the lead developer of Bethesda, did with Phil Spencer, the head of my Xbox and Microsoft Xbox, with some other journalists or whatever, and one of the first questions that they asked the guy was, why isn't performance optimized enough for PC? And Todd Howard says, oh, well, maybe your rig isn't good enough. Maybe Starfield is too powerful for your computer. But by like every metric, Starfield is like a dinosaur compared to other games, space games specifically, if you look at like No Man's Sky or Star Citizen if you want. But yeah, it's quite the ridiculous answer. That whole interview was just this woman and guy just grilling Phil Spencer and Todd Howard, and it was hilarious because, go ahead.
I said good.
Yeah. Yeah, and then of course, sometimes on the news there's like a 2-second delay between when the audio goes and the video, so that was kind of funny. And Todd Howard looks like an NPC the whole time. He's just like staring, eyes front, no facial expressions at all. But yeah, so that was kind of funny. A weird answer. So yeah, what do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about Starfield in general? Have your thoughts or opinions changed?
Go ahead, Scully, if you got something.
Honestly, I've only heard a little bit about Starfield, so I don't know much about the game. So whatever is said is going to be mostly between you and Riley.
Okay.
If
So
I'm
I've
being honest.
oh, sorry. I didn't mean to cut in on you. So I've watched some videos on it and I've watched some people streaming it and you know, and I feel like the biggest problem with games nowadays, especially with this instance of a Bethesda game, is the actual marketing campaign as campaigning it as something else or advertising it as something else. So my understanding is this was supposed to be a game you can go explore over 1,000 planets, you can go and harvest all these resources, and you can do those things, but it is basically, I mean, it's a Skyrim simulator in space is basically the way I kind of take it. It's a Bethesda game. It plays like any other Bethesda game. It's not No Man's Sky, it's not Star Citizen, which is I think what they were hyping it up to be better than No Man's Sky, better than Sky Citizen. And I mean, I think it is, like, if you measure it like starting, I mean, the game has been a huge success from what I've seen, but they just advertised it as this better than No Man's Sky game where you can go to all these planets, you can harvest all these resources, and you know, this all this stuff, when really it's just a Bethesda game in space where there's lots of cutscenes, there's lots of menus. Like, I feel like I was watching Doctor Disrespect, and I feel like when you're not like on the planet doing a quest, when you're jumping from planet to planet, you're sitting in a menu for like 60% of the time actually playing the game. So I think really misrepresented what the game was. I mean, it could still be a great game, and people are claiming it's game of the year. I don't know if that's true or not, but
Yeah, I think that it just kind of boils down to that people forgot that Bethesda was making the game, and that your expectations should automatically be lowered when you see that Bethesda developer on the box. It's I don't know. I think that so I love Skyrim. I've said that it's my favorite game, and I still think that, but from what I've seen, it just looks like Skyrim in space, and I think that that's like an outdated way of making games. Like, you can't make a game that's super buggy, that doesn't have the greatest graphics, but also the gameplay itself isn't great. So it's just I don't know, man. I think that like Star Citizen is massive. Like, it's one of the biggest games I've ever seen. There are zero loading screens. It's one of like the biggest games ever. And then you see Starfield, and there's a loading screen for every pixel that you look at. It's just I don't know, man. I think that this game was doomed from the start. They should have just I really don't know what they should have done to fix it. It's I don't know. I dare not make the comparison, but it kind of reminds me of like Black Ops 3 on last gen, when you play Starfield, and that's Black Ops 3 on last gen, then you hop on the actual Black Ops 3, and that's like No Man's Sky or something. I just think that it's not is like you said, it's poorly advertised. People's expectations were already the reality will never meet the fantasy. That's especially in a space game like that. Like, I'm sure people, even to this day, even after all of the updates to No Man's Sky, it's still not what people want it to be. Same with Star Citizen. It's just, I feel like a game where you're promised to do whatever you want, go wherever you want, do what you want, how you want to do it. It's impossible to please everyone. So, yeah, I don't know. I just think that the Q&A is just indicative of how Bethesda is right now. And I myself, I'm not excited for Starfield. I've seen everything I need to see. I'm not gonna get it. In fact, I've been thinking about getting No Man's Sky, because No Man's Sky actually looks fun, and it has an art style, and it looks interesting, right? And it's had a ton of updates, great updates, and It's just Starfield just looks like more Bethesda. So yeah.
Right, and that's like I said, it's Skyrim in space, and I think that if they had advertised that, people would be a lot more satisfied with it than they currently are. I mean, I've seen really good reviews of it, and I've seen really bad reviews of it, and I've seen that all the PlayStation fanboys are review bombing the game. So, I mean, I think it's all over the place. But I will say that I think in this modern age of like gaming, the trailer can make or break the player's experience. And I don't think that it's a good idea for these gaming companies to make trailers that are not like in-game footage. An example is like, I don't know if you've ever watched the old like World of Warcraft trailers, but they show like these intense cutscenes and like they're really high, like, you know, the graphics are really good on them and they look badass, dude. They look so cool. And then you get into World of Warcraft, and World of Warcraft is a game, it's like a 23-year-old game. I think it was made in like 2000 or something like that. It's an old game where you just point and click and you tell your little guy to go. And the action is not like, you know, it's not like action fighting. It's like, is role playing. It's like click based, basically. And I think I saw a trailer for Starfield that was kind of the same. It was like this really high quality trailer, and it's like about these people going to space, and it looks like really inspirational, kind of like an Interstellar type trailer, and that's not what the game is at all. So which you know, you brought up Black Ops 3. I think the Black Ops 3 trailers for like zombies usually did a really good job at like showing in-game footage at like what you could actually do in the game and hyping you up for what you were about to play. Maybe not Blood of the Dead, but rather than like this really high expectation and you're like, oh, this is not what the trailer looked like. So anyways. Oh, but yeah, I was gonna say, as far as the needing a better rig line, you know, the only thing I could think, and I think I sent you a meme on Twitter of it, is, you peasants, why can't your PC play this game, you peasants? Why can't you afford a RTX 4080 that costs more than a lot of people's cars?
That's a down payment on a house, for God's sake.
Yeah. But
It reminds me of all those like female streamers specifically. I remember you two were always clowning on them. Do you not have $5? Come on, it's just $5. Yeah, so
if you don't have $5, why are you here watching this stream? You should not be
I have
here.
$5 and I want to be here.
But yeah, as far as like marketing your game, like those comments just piss people off.
yeah.
It's not a good way to keep people excited for your game.
I also think that pre-ordering games should not be tolerated anymore, especially after like Cyberpunk and all these terrible disasters. It's like I feel like we should be smarter than that. You know, it's been happening over and over again. We've had a dime a dozen with Elden Ring and Baldur's Gate, but I feel like the majority of games that come out are just not, they're not ready, and they're not what people expect them to be. So I feel like pre-ordering is an absolute no-no these days. But
Speaking from experience, I regret pre-ordering Vanguard.
I was going to say that.
The trailer was shit and the game was shit, so the trailer matched the game.
yeah.
But hear me out here. What if for this current Call of Duty, which comes out, is it October, November? I can't remember. I think it's November. In 2 months, the game's coming out. And what if they give you, instead of a mini Juggernog fridge, a mini Double Tap 2.0 fridge? Would you buy it?
Not for a Double Tap 2.0 fridge.
Maybe a Tombstone fridge.
But I mean, literally, if you're going from Juggernog to any other perk, no one's going to buy it. Unless probably PhD Flubber.
Oh, I'm clowning on it right now, but I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, man, that was such a cool, and I didn't buy it like a fool because they're going on eBay for like $500. But that was such a cool incentive to pre-order like the special, I don't remember what it was called, like version of the game. Like at least you got something physical.
But
it wasn't just a BS skin in the game that the next Call of Duty is going to phase out anyways. Sorry, go ahead, Skullbasher.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, but like that was also at a time when like they actually carefully crafted their games and like made sure that everything made sense and made sure that like if you were to buy it, like the most expensive bundle, that you would get what you paid for, basically.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it compared to now, it's not exactly worth your money to spend on game unless you know what you're paying for, basically.
Right.
And some trailers, like you said, they show one thing, but when you pre-order it, you don't know what you're getting until you play the game, and then all of a sudden it's a shit game,
It
and
remind, what
you wasted your money.
what it reminds me of is, I know you guys have seen them too, the mobile game ads. It's like this.
Oh my
I
god!
mean, there's like
Don't
the crime boss ones. I don't know what that Crime City or
don't
whatever.
remind me, because like I mostly play on mobile games.
But there's so many like just really egregious games that will advertise one thing, and then it's just completely a different game. But that's like
It's
all of like all
I say
gaming.
like the biggest offenders are the ones that like pull the pin games. It's like you have like somebody trying to get treasure and monsters and
Mhm.
different kind of elements. You get the game, you download it, and it's a fucking RPG, like an AFK RPG that you just sit and you don't have to do shit. Just have
Yeah.
to You literally have to load up the game and get far enough so that you don't have to do anything else for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Then people are in the reviews are like, not as advertised, and then the developer replies are like, but you're not at the level yet to get those freaking uh puzzle levels. Keep trying, you'll get there eventually. Only to find out that eventually never comes.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking about the whole collector's edition thing. Do you remember before Black Ops 4 came out, I think it was Craig Houston said that every like collector's edition like item, like the fridge, would be like a useful household item. Do you remember that? That we got a box from Black Ops 4. Oh yeah, here's a box, a useful household item.
You can put your trinkets in it.
Yeah.
You can move furniture or like small objects in that box to my new home in that box.
There you go. Yeah, the Juggernaut fridge was awesome. Like I don't think that'll ever be topped, but
Mm.
Didn't they have
nothing.
like posters at one point? Like per posters.
Maybe
I think they had like socks at one too. I'm not sure, but
they could have. I'm not sure. I just am upset that I didn't get the Juggernaut fridge when I could have. But
I'm glad I didn't spend my money on that shit. More than I already did on Black Ops 3.
Yeah.
Like with Divinium alone.
Hmm.
it's Liquid D's.
So, I have a question,
Oh god.
and either one of you can take it. Whoever's ready to handle such a monstrous question of thought.
Deal. Deal
Do you,
or no
Scully?
deal.
What is the meaning of life or your life?
Damn. This is going to be the quietest segment on any podcast you guys ever done.
So this question, I mean, I've been asked this question before, never like on a podcast,
Hmm.
but I think for me personally, the meaning of life at this point, and I think that this question changes as your life progresses, as you get more responsibility, your life becomes, taking first, it's becoming responsible enough to take care of yourself, and then if you are, if you start a family like I did, your life really does become revolving just around your kids and taking care of your kids and providing for them. And it's and a lot of people, and I mean, I wasn't ready when I started my family. I don't think you really are, quote unquote, ready to take on such a responsibility. You grow into that responsibility, and for all counts and measures, I still am. But I think that question changes depending on where you are in life. Like right now, my only meaning of my life is just to. And we don't live in a terrible area, but we don't live in the best area either. So like my only purpose in my life right now, or meaning in life, is to provide more for my family. It's a boring question or answer, but
Oh, come on, man.
I mean, I could get all religious on you and go down a different path, but I mean, it just depends on what like part of the question you're wanting me to answer there. But
Mm.
I think and being a parent, teaching, like it's a weird question that I never thought I'd have to answer, but really teaching your kids why why is like, you'll get that question more from your kids than anywhere else in your entire life. You'll hear it like 30 times a day, but teaching your kids why, like, why should you be a good person? Okay, well, if you believe in God, then you want to go to heaven. But if you don't believe in God, why should you be a good person? Well, it's the right thing to do. I don't know. I'm rambling here because I could talk about this for a long time, but anyways, what do you guys think?
Scully.
I don't know. Like, for me, I guess it's just like knowing that not every day is going to be like a bad one. Like, you're going to have your good days and bad days, but like, all in all, I think it just kind of balances each other out, because like you can't have good without bad. So it's kind of like a harmony kind of vibe, I guess.
Mm.
Just like vaguely. I know that's like kind of vague, but I'm not really too good on like life altering questions or life
Very
deciding questions.
philosophical question.
I'm not a philosophical person. I have realized that now.
What about you, Riley?
Yeah. I guess kind of same thing as a school basher is that like not every day is gonna be um like a bad one, but like for me where I'm at now, I should always prepare for the bad and but expect the best because that's just kind of how my like life trajectory is over the past few years is bad, bad, bad. But of course, there's a chance that something good may happen. So just be ready for it. I also think that there's a point where we have to stop like taking the bad as like I don't know, because we should expect the bad and turn it into something good and just not like self-destruct when the bad comes, because if you do that every single time you'll be self-destructing a lot. It's just in my personal opinion, experience. But um yeah, I just think it's all about rolling with whatever punches you get hit with. Like my diabetes, I wish I didn't have it. There's a lot of things I love to do, but it's just it's just stupid to do them now, so I probably shouldn't. But like I love to try like yeah, I'm not gonna say that actually, but so yeah, I just think it's moving on from bad things that have happened and teaching yourself to be better for when the next bad situation happens. Now, some people may say like that's a bad way to look at life if you're always looking for bad things, but that's not how I look at it. I just because I started seeing life as like a circle or karma, if you will. Whatever you put out there gets flung right back to you, or sometimes even if you don't put anything out there, shit still gets flung back to you anyway. So I just think that yeah, expect prepare for the worst, expect the best. That's just kind of been my motto lately. Um, yeah, and then I'm sure that'll change as I get older. I've been, you know, talked down to a few times the past few years, and like I just look at them like you. I don't know where I'm going with that, but I don't know. I had a lot of ways to like answer this question, and I feel like there's infinite ways to answer this question, and you can never really say the right one because it could change. Your answer could change tomorrow, and yeah, that's kind of what I have to say about that.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm going to chime back in here
Hmm.
and just say a couple things, but I feel like I said, it depends on where you're at in life. I'm in a different spot than you two are, and I think realizing too that it's okay to be in a different point in life than everyone else is around you. I was listening to this. I was watching a YouTube video, and this person was talking about how they're older and they've never found anyone like that suits them as a partner, and they want kids and all this stuff, and that's unfortunate. And they're really depressed, and that it is depressing, and that's different for everyone. But I think when you really boil and bake the question down to what is the meaning of life, again, it depends on different everyone or every person's gonna have a different answer. But I feel like the most meaningful things you can do in this life is not harm other people, not drive other people closer to the edge, if you want to call it that. And two, do whatever you like, make your life as good as you can so you're not just a drain on everyone around you. Like if I don't know if you guys have a friend like this that just everything's always wrong. Like I had a friend that whenever you talk to him, it's just like everything's garbage, everything's trash, my life is sucks and all this stuff. And I feel like that just drains people around you, and so don't be a sponge, don't like soak up other people's joy, don't push people farther to the edge. I mean, I don't know, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this question because we could talk about it for a really long time, but I
Mm.
feel like what I'm trying to say, the meaning of life to me is just living and not regretting it. I don't know, but also not making other people's lives worse in the process.
Well, I mean, if I could be like more insightful on that, I feel like, you know, I see like life as like there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. So as long as you keep pushing for that light, you're gonna make it out the other side, one way or another.
Right. And I think like again, perspective is everything because you look at the suicide rate in the United States, it's insane. It's higher than ever, and I think that's really terrible and really terrifying. But like if you can be the difference in somebody not jumping or whatever it may be, I think that is the purpose of life, is to help everyone around you. But everybody has a busy life, and we're always rushing and trying to make ends meet and pay bills. So I just think that gets overlooked. But I don't know. It's a really interesting question.
Yeah. You brought up regret, and I just think that I was recently caught in like a conundrum, if you will, and maybe you guys can put some more insight into it. I was like thinking like, you know, like for instance, I'm like, okay, I don't want to I don't want to like I don't know, put myself out there like in the dating scene, so to speak, cuz what if I get rejected and then like now I have regret and I would be less likely to do it again, I feel. But I also think that with my recent years in life, if I don't do it, I could also move on with that regret and learn from it. But I would also think back to it a lot and be like, man, why did you do that? That was so stupid. Because I do that a lot. I take like the smallest things and turn them into something they really shouldn't be. But I yeah, it's like the whole like regret, the whole the that infamous no regrets meme is popping into my head right now. Um, yeah, I just think that it's so weird how I'm like stuck on. So what should I not do things for the sake of possibly regretting them in the future, or do I just go with it and not I don't know, maybe think of it in a different way and not in a negative light, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's such an intriguing question to ask people. If you want to make it party awkward, ask people this question, because you never know what you're going to hear from people. But I think it's a really insightful question if you've never actually like really thought about it at length.
Yeah.
So
Well, I've got one more question, and then
all
a
right.
couple more things maybe. And I've been thinking about this question for a while. So if you want to choose a couple, that's fine, because I'm definitely going to. What is your favorite childhood memory?
Hmm. I might need a minute to think about this one.
Okay. All right, I'll go first.
Go ahead if you've got one.
So, my first one that immediately comes to mind, maybe it's not the most prominent, but probably because we were talking about it last week or the week before. Um, it was it was when Zombies Chronicles came out, and I had just got my PlayStation 4, and I had bought it with mostly my own money, but I had just got the PS4. I had gotten Infinite Warfare and then Black Ops 3 a little while later, and then that's kind of when I started growing my YouTube channel bit by bit, and that was really fun. But more so when the first Z House came around. That just I think that's just peak YouTube content. That's S tier, triple S tier, the best ever conceived on YouTube, and like those videos will always be there to go back to, um, and just like playing whatever I was playing at the time, whatever zombies map, and watching ZWC1 go down, and then there was ZWC2. Oh, God, that was so funny because I remember Edinrod 93 or Zombies Alert, he was making diss tracks on Pack-a-Puncher during the time because they were both competing in ZWI. and I was a mod in Ed's channel, so I was getting like yeah, you know what? I'm gonna save that story for later. But anyway, yeah, so that was fun. Just the community of like all like the smaller guys like all coming together in the zombies group. So that was pretty fun. Yeah, I would just say Black Ops 3 like as a whole, like that game will live forever, especially like yeah, so definitely that whole zombies era. I think that was just pristine. I remember playing multiplayer. I mentioned this before also, but like multiplayer with these older Canadian guys drinking all night, yelling at people in the lobbies. It was super fun. So yeah, that's one that I came up with.
Got one, Scully?
Well, it's not like I got good childhood memories, but it's like okay, so like for like one thing, I wasn't really the best at school, if I'm being honest, especially when it came to like math. So like in grade 4, we did a math test. I don't remember what subject of math we were doing, but I ended up getting like a 100, completely on 100. That was my first 100 ever on a test. So it was kind of like it was. It's always going to be like that one memory that I aced an exam that I not wasn't doing good in, and it was like it was a memory that like I still remember to this day. It's like it happened yesterday. And but like if I had to say like video games in general, when I first started playing video games, was like a really good childhood memory because like I grew up on like Game Boy and the Wii, and it kind of just launched me into like a gaming direction,
Mhm.
basically. So it's like Jack and Daxter: The Precursor Legacy. It was like the game that really just made me fall in love with games, and that was on the PS2 when I was able to get one. And I'd say like that was like my best memory of my childhood was getting that PS2.
That's awesome.
Mm.
I also wasn't good at school, so I know the feeling of finally doing well on something, and you're like, oh yeah, hell yeah. But so I would say mine. I have. I mean, I could choose a million different ones, but I think my favorite, and I think this is what people don't. Well, I'm not going to go down that path. Um, my favorite would be One Christmas, and it was, I think it was the year, or maybe it was the second year. I can't remember exactly, but when the original Xbox came out, and my family was not well off. My dad, he worked his butt off just to make ends meet, and I still don't know why he did it. I mean, me and my brother, we would help him wherever we could. He was a trucker and he would haul hay, and so we would help him wherever we could and stuff. And he felt like, for our Santa, brought us the original Xbox with the original Halo. And I just remember being like, never before. Okay, first of all, I had never heard of an Xbox. I didn't know what it was because
Mhm.
it was before the internet really was like common. So I didn't know what an Xbox was. I didn't know what a Halo was. But that still, like, opening that up and just being like blown away. Like, I don't know what this thing is, but it looks awesome. And, just the hours that I spent on it with my brother, we played all Christmas Day, we played for hours and hours and hours. I think that would have to be my no, and realizing back, looking back now, like how much that cost at the time for my my parents, and I so it makes it really special to me because I mean that couldn't have been easy for him because they struggled to make ends meet a lot of my growing up years. I hear him talking about money, so that for me probably would be my favorite, childhood memory growing up. That original Xbox with Halo.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then like if you want to talk, like internet, like yeah, Black Ops 3, everything about it was phenomenal. It was amazing. The YouTube Black Ops 3 YouTube days were great. You got a million top 5 videos from everyone and their dog,
Yeah.
Z the Z house. So,
Actually, I think my favorite memory was the first time I've ever played zombies, COD Zombies, on Black Ops 1 on 2010. Because like I didn't know I didn't know COD had zombies because I knew about COD but not like the different modes it had. So when I loaded up Black Ops 1 and finished the campaign, it took me into a cutscene. I was like, what is this? Not knowing this was the 5 cutscene, intro cutscene, and it put me into into a survival situation. I'm like, hmm, well, this is gonna turn out bad. And then after I got used to the map 5, I played the other map, Kino, and honestly, I was just kind of hooked on zombies after a little bit, and that's where I am today. Just still playing zombies, and well, I don't consider Kino to be the best map ever. It was definitely the best at the time.
yeah.
Well, your opinion is wrong, according to many in the Call of Duty Zombies community.
Well, not with Chaos X Silencer.
Yeah.
Not with the IGN either. I just happened to have an article pop up, and it was like the top 10 Call of Duty Zombies maps of all time. And they had like some weird picks,
What did
but
they
Kino
have?
der Toten was number one. They had like Forsaken was on there, and I'm like,
Hmm.
As
okay.
As a top 10,
And like, yeah, and like D Machina was on there, and I'm like, I mean, I like D Machina. It's a cool map, but it's not top 10.
did they just start playing zombies?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wonder. I feel like it's easy. Like, it's easy to farm the zombies community hate. So if you just make a bad list on your website or your video, you're gonna get a lot of hate comments, but you're also gonna generate a lot of revenue.
But that's the thing. They want the thing that gets them the most clicks and views. So why not put a controversial opinion in there?
Well, I think that's why. Did you guys ever watch Jimbathy videos?
I saw
Like,
him
his
all the
videos
time.
always so ridiculous, but like,
I'm not gonna lie. I think he did one with like a katana wall by on the Reese, and I kind of fell for that.
but they
I
were
was
like
like,
such
Is that real?
right. You have to figure it. Like, you have to see the one that the first one I remember was the ray gun by behind the in Shadows of Evil behind the quick revive machine. That was the first one I saw.
I
But
haven't heard of
he
that
was
one.
like a master at like baiting people into clicking on the video and watching the whole way through because there's going to be this secret, But it was never, it was never there.
I don't
Yeah.
remember which video it was, but it was like, I think it may have been the Bowie knife or katana one that he did. And it's like he just showed him playing another game, and I was like, I'm gonna have to go get a game, and so I can do this at least right. Thank God I wasn't stupid as a kid. That stupid anyway.
Yeah. But no, I just wanted to say too on Scully, like I feel like that is, I don't know, Riley, I don't know how you were introduced to zombies, but I feel like that is like the best way you can be introduced to zombies, and that's like the most special way is to just experience it in Black Ops 1 after the campaign. Because like for me, I started, Nocturne and Toten, my cousin was like, dude, you want to play zombies? And I'm like, what? We were like 8 years old or 10 years, I don't know how old I was. Like, what's zombies? And he showed me like, oh, it's Nazi zombies. You just shoot these zombies in the window. So it was kind of ruined for me in a way. I'm kind of jealous that I didn't get to experience it, after the campaign and like not know that was coming, because I feel like that would be like the most amazing way to find out about zombies. But
All I can say is I don't think I made it past round 5 on my first playthrough.
I don't think any of us did. But yeah.
I'm surprised I made it past round 1.
Do you guys have any like I know School Basher you said one. But do you have any memories like away from gaming and the internet in general that kind of stick out? I have I guess kind of like clumped together. I would say probably my birthday parties. Like they were always super fun. My mom did a great job. She uh used to mix 7 Up and sherbet ice cream and serve that to all of us. That was just delicious. But um yeah, I I just love the thought of like having like all my friends like all in one room, seeing them all together, the crossover of the century. That's like I've always like joked about with like friends of mine, like I wouldn't like if I ever get married, I'm not worried about the venue as much as I am about getting everybody that I've ever looked at there, I won't, right? It's like I just so yeah, like my birthday parties were great. There was this one party where we ran around my small town shooting Nerf guns at each other. That was really fun with walkie talkies. So yeah, that was those were some good years running around there with walkie talkies, and then sometimes late at night.
How on earth do I call my Predator missile now? I'm on a 5-kill streak. I need to know.
But yeah, so that was super fun. I would also say going to the racetrack, watching my dad, and then racing those go karts myself. So yeah, those are always super fun. So yeah, I guess pretty much any time that I was hanging out with people. So
Yeah, I would say. Oh,
Okay, so like, I guess if I had to pick like one memory that's like not gaming related, I'd say like there's a couple, but there's one that like stands out to me more. So 2013 or 12, that sort of era. My uncle was getting married in Ontario, Canada, and basically like a whole bunch of family was going up for a week basically to see them get married. And we went to Canada's Wonderland, and we just had amazing. It was like my best time I've ever had, basically, because I'd never been to an amusement park like that. So for me to go to one was like really, really just an enjoyable time, and I will never forget those memories I had when I went there.
Yeah, I would say mine. I had so I have a big extended family. My grandparents on both sides each have 13 kids, so I have a lot of cousins.
Mm.
And on my dad's side, my cousins, there's 3 of us that are the same age, and then my older brother, there's 3 boys his age too. So it was like 2 friend groups that kind of would get together all the time, and we were all brothers. There was me and my brother, and then there was another cousin my age and his older brother, another cousin my age and his older brother. So it was like perfect friend group because we were all really good friends, and we would all get together, and at my grandma's pool, she had a swimming pool, and we would swim like all day, and they had a snow cone machine, and we would make snow cones and just BS and just hang out. But one set of the brothers lived a few hundred miles away, so we didn't see them very often. So whenever they would come down to visit my grandma, we would always we would live it up to the extreme. We would stay up all night, but we would swim all day, and then we would go downstairs, and she had a really cool old basement, and we would have like this jinky little Xbox set up, and we had the Xbox, so we'd always bring our Xbox. I mean, it's kind of gaming related, but like not. But we would just summers as a kid were really, really fun and really special because I didn't ever get to see those people outside of when their family would come down to visit. So. And then we would play Halo, but one of my cousin's moms didn't like the fact that we would play this really mature game called Halo, so we would call it Ola. Let's go play some Ola, and it's stupidest thing ever, but she never caught on, so I guess it worked. So, I feel like you're saying, Riley. I think just spending time with good friends, just growing up, running around, doing all this fun stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I expect an invite to your wedding whenever it happens. So,
Oh, dude, I'm flying you, Skullbasher, Malt, everyone, man.
Oh my God,
That's the plan.
oh yeah.
he's gonna have to wear his sunglasses outdoors this time.
Yes, sir. Okay. Well, I suppose we're on to our last topic of the night. The Facebook Marketplace. We have, I believe, more photos than the previous few times. So yes, if you guys just want to go into our group chat, I posted all the pictures in there. So we will take turns reading through all of these.
Oh my.
So, yeah, let me just timestamps this. Okay. So yeah, the first one, you want to read the second, or you want to look at the second image before you look at the first one, because they're both the same. So I will start us off with a power tools set. It is a photo of an arrangement of power tools, and for $120, they look decently worn, but I don't know. They look no batteries, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second picture is a photo of a guy's identification of some sort, and it's typed in Spanish, but translated it says, this dishonest guy pays him to do a bathroom, which he did but never finished it, and rather lose his tool than come finish it. Be careful and never pay the total until you see it finished. This is part of the tool that is left. I have mine and I'm not using it, just going to waste. $120 for the whole set in good conditions.
Wow. I like how with some of these it just turns into like a PSA for everybody on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny.
All right, we a very simple but short but sweet one. An art sculpture for $10,500.
Very majestic.
Just realized it said art sculpture and realized what the picture was.
She also
That's
put her
so-
name there at the very bottom. She's not very discreet.
No.
No. Not the greatest one either.
Okay, who wants to take over this comfortable looking watch?
Oh my god.
Oh,
Uh,
it skipped over one for me. Okay. All right, I've got this one. It's a Nixon watch for sale for $900, and it just looks like it is squeezing this person's hand off. Like I don't know how they got it on or off, and maybe they can't.
Yeah.
Does the watch come with a new circulatory system? If you're gonna need one after you take that off.
You
don't
can't
think
even
you're
turn the
taking that thing
knob
off.
on it. It's like dug into the skin on the right side.
Bro, you know those safe crackers? You're gonna need one for this watch to get that off of his arm.
And I mean, there's a lot to laugh about here, but $900, that's a Walmart watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely Walmart quality.
Here's maybe a more reasonable. I know you two are Pokemon fans. A Pikachu glass jar for $50. What are we thinking, guys?
They're a little off. Very slightly off.
Huh.
It looks exactly like Pikachu. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't remember him having green eyes.
Or the teeth, man. My goodness.
Oh my god, it looks like one of those fucking angler fish.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
just can't see the fucking light above it.
Mm-hmm.
I just like, I don't know where you get a Pikachu glass jar out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would say same thing as Scully. It looks like an angler fish.
You know what it reminds me of? It kind of looks like Bart Simpson.
Yeah.
It does mix with an angler fish.
Yeah.
Like if you could imagine a mutated Bart Simpson, this is what it would look like.
All right, School Basher, you got this one.
Oh my god, what are you making me look at? I've had this 30 years now. It took me years to acquire it from the previous owner. It is the rear end of a deer in the face of a badger. I don't know, but I'd take the Pikachu run over this one. To be honest with you. That one makes more sense.
I like at the very bottom the classification. It's a deer / a badger.
Yeah.
This is more of a Pokemon than the last one.
Oh my gosh.
For $225. Man,
It took-
wow, that looks. Look in the third image. It actually looks a lot like smaller than what you think it would be. I don't know.
Yeah, it looks huge, and then you see it in that guy's hand, and it's like not that big.
Yeah.
I just want to point out.
I think they
sorry, go
forgot to move the Desmo place over a couple spots.
I just want to point out that it took him years to acquire it from the previous owner.
And he's had it for 30 years after that.
I mean, this guy's been sitting on this for maybe 35 years.
Yeah.
It's
So
a steal.
somebody for 30 years literally had a badger with a deer ass for a body somewhere in the world.
All right. Next up, a pristine limited edition Xbox controller for $40. Some say that this is the very controller that Skullbasher threw after his infamous rage on Seesaw.
No, because I don't use Xbox controllers. But a PS4 controller, maybe.
It's
40
actually-
bucks. Parts.
This actually looks a lot like a PlayStation 4 controller that I destroyed after I played Fortnite. Like, man, that's pretty close.
To be fair, if the chips aren't damaged, you could probably use them for something.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Well,
Or you could just throw them in the garbage. Who knows?
You're an optimist. I like that about you.
I'm an optimist, but I also have standards.
now,
And this is really not hitting any standards.
And I like how you see a little bit of the profile picture. It looks like the person's name is Debbie, Debbly maybe, but you can tell it's just her son's Xbox controller that he broke, and she's like, I'm gonna see if I can get like 40 bucks off this thing, because these things, I bought this thing for like 60.
Yeah, exactly.
Would not surprise me if the name was Diablo.
It might be.
With a controller like that? Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I cut you off, Riley. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was about to go into the next one, but
Oh, okay.
well, by pure coincidence, we have another couch
Oh my.
on the Couch Co-op podcast.
4,087 hours of nights on it? What the fuck?
All right, so used
What does
couch.
that even mean?
What's that in fart time, man?
Used couch, roughly 4,078 hours of naps on it. Asking $350,000 if I have to deliver it, or an extra large cream soda Slurpee from Circle K if you come get it from the front door of my house.
Oh my.
It looks like, I mean, I'm just going out on a limb here. It does look like it's had about 4,000 hours of use.
Mm-hmm.
So I will give them an A on their ability to describe the item,
Yeah.
but like a C minus or even an F on their pricing.
Yeah.
$35,000 for a used couch.
Or a large ice cream soda Slurpee from Circle K if you come
Yeah.
get it.
Uh-huh.
you can save easily about 3,400 and about $98 if you get a Slurpee.
Yeah. All right. We have a 100 quantity mixed lot of phones for $4,800. They all work, must take all, but now it's $35. So,
Knocked down from 60.
yeah.
Oh, that's generous of them.
And they all look like those like track phones,
Mm-hmm.
like the phones you can buy from Cricket Mobile or whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of just look like burner phones to me. Like you
Yeah.
just buy them anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
There is one iPhone there. He put it front and center because he knows what sells.
Smart man.
But
All
that one to the left of the iPhone, the really long one, I have never seen that contraption in my entire life.
No.
What is that?
I kind of want one though. It looks pretty awesome. Like it looks like a smartphone with like a analog keyboard built into it. It looks pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
That's just weird to look at. Can you imagine like trying to put that in your pocket?
Well, have you guys seen that flip phones are coming back? Samsung is
yeah.
like really pushing flip phones,
Uh-huh.
which is hilarious.
All right, Cal.
All right, we have next
What?
an ancient Rome cedar chain link for $10,000. But what makes this post even better is in the background, you see somebody is clearly sitting on the John. And the other person's holding the chain right in front of them.
I don't know. I think the chain was used for something else.
And the description says dated back to Greece gladiator times, used in stadium.
And the chain looks like it was just like finally sanded down.
Yeah, because I'm sure they used wooden chains back in the day.
Which, by the way, there were like 2 other pictures of this fella in the bathroom, but I decided not to show those because it showed a little bit too much. So,
Fair
Okay.
enough.
It's a great picture, though.
You want to be YouTube friendly, not EDP friendly.
yeah. All right, School Basher, you want to read this and then say what's in the description of it?
Which one? Is it the
The
chairs one or
chairs, the chairs, and the image afterwards. Yes.
20 stackable chairs, $100, and then it's in the next one. Is it
Yep.
20 chairs for sale? There are holes in the middle of each of them because of personal project and use for refurbishing or anything you like. $100. Please stop inboxing me asking what the personal project is. Wow.
That's weird.
That's that someone made that a sentence.
All right, guys, put your tinfoil hats on. What are the holes from?
Well,
They were trying to make a better toilet,
yeah.
they're
more
very
comfy toilet.
they're very symmetrical. Makes me concerned about the placement of the balls. I mean, what?
Yeah, I don't know. This is one of those things the world may never know.
yeah.
Honestly, my first thought somebody just like took a blowtorch and just burned everything in the middle.
Like that
It looks
Pikachu
like-
from last week.
From what from last week?
The Pikachu with the black on the face.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Next up, we have some more redneck ingenuity. A motorized bar stool for $1,200.
And it's not just motorized, it's like drivable. Like it's got a steering wheel. I mean, you can just drive this bad boy wherever you want.
Mm-hmm. It just plopped it on a go-kart frame, and there it is.
I can see a few things wrong with this. Maybe I'm just not thinking like a
They deliver. So
alcoholic.
Oh, really? Well, that's convenient.
they have local delivery. They will drive it to your doorstep.
yeah.
I mean, hey, can you do overseas shipping?
All right.
Next one. I got this one.
All right.
This is a casket go-kart for $1,500. And the description says, go-kart with casket body. Great for Halloween parade.
Well, if anything goes horribly, you already have a coffin.
You know, I was thinking that same thing. You just have to weld a little plate on the top there so all the dirt doesn't get in and you're good.
I mean, at least coffin arrangements won't be expensive.
You've already got it.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And it's a hand-me-down at this point.
All right, School
Take this one
Basher.
away, Skull.
Yes, sir.
Is it the next one?
Yep.
Yeah, the bed, yeah.
The bed. Okay. Selling a full-size bed, good condition, $75. Must pick up. First come, first serve. And I see a very concerning thing on the bed.
Yeah.
Is that like a stain or something?
Multiple stains, yes. This.
All right. So I feel like this is one of the, I mean, you can always quote The Office, but one of the most applicable Office quotes here is blood, semen, or urine.
God, I hope it's urine.
I hope it's. Well, you can't really win in any situation at that point.
yeah.
But it really looks so dark. You think it's blood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what my favorite part about some of these posts is the ones that say first come, first serve, as if people are just like gonna storm the gates to get this crappy bed.
There's going to be a
Bro,
big line of people
Yeah.
waiting for this bed.
I would take the bed frame before I take the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bed frame looks nice. The mattress looks like it's from the 70s. Those old, like, 70s mattresses that just had foam in them with no support. I don't know if you guys ever had one of those.
The mattress looks like it's been through the 70s.
All right, guys. You know what I'm gonna ask? Which item are you walking home with? Which one item? I'm
Ooh,
gonna
this
have
is
to
a
go with
tough
the
one.
casket go-kart personally.
I'm gonna go with the Pikachu glass jar, honestly.
Okay.
So when people come over, they're like, "What's that?" Oh, it's Pikachu. And I can just fuck with people at that point.
You're like, that's my best find from Facebook Marketplace ever right there. I don't
Every
know,
time-
man.
Every time I go live streaming, it's just going to be in the back, just looking at the camera.
I feel like I'm torn between the tool set because it would actually be useful and the deer badger because it would be a great conversation starter.
Yeah.
So
I'd be
how
like,
did you manage to
there
get
was
it?
this man in, I think it was Arizona. There was this man in Arizona that he fought for that thing for 5 years and then he held on to it for 30 years and then he finally handed it down to me. And they're like, what the heck is it? And it's like, it's a deer badger. Okay?
Yeah, come on. Aren't you like cultured with the times? Come on.
Come on, man. Oh, it's South Carolina, but sure.
Who knows? Maybe Wings of Redemption has it. That's where he's from. So.
You know, it's possible. But
Yeah.
that's what I'm taking home.
Gotcha. Well, is there
So the
anything
tool
else?
set, really the tool set.
Really? Yeah. Okay. And hey, you get an ID with it too. So if you ever need to cross the border, you could tape your name, your face down on top of that guy, and there you go.
Perfect.
Might need to change a couple of things though.
Looks like it's good till 2027, so I can use it for a few years.
Well, is there anything else, Kyle?
No, that was good.
All right. Well, thank you, School Basher, for coming back on. It's wonderful having you on as always.
Mhm.
Yeah. We will see you next week. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and like the video.
Bye.